The young man in this photo is John Henry Beardsley, my great-grandfather. My great-grandpa was born in 1904 and grew up on a homestead claim near Ismay, Montana. By the time he was 14, he was running the ranch, which is still in our family today. He didn't graduate from high school as he had a ranch to run, and he never went to college. But Great-Grandpa John did learn a lot about farming through an organization originally called the Boys and Girls Corn Club for Montana. Around 1912, the corn clubs became known as 4-H clubs around the nation. When Great-Grandpa John was in his late teens, he was recognized for his corn project and won a trip to Chicago to the newly formed National 4-H Congress. 4-H continued to grow over the next 100 years. Grandpa John Henry married, and he and my great-grandma Ella had 8 children and 35 grandchildren, all who were in 4-H. Today their descendants number in the hundreds, and many are still in 4-H. I had the chance to visit with my grandpa, Jim Beardsley, the youngest of the 8 Beardsley children, and 2 of his sisters, Joanne Perkins, the oldest, and Aunt Kay Hoffman. They told me stories about what 4-H was like in the 1950s and 60s.
When I was growing up, the 4-H clubs hadn't been running for several years, and my father, John Beardsley, took up the leadership of the 4-H, and there were just 6 of us in the group. Marilee and I and Audrey and Mila Hopkins and 2 of the Oster boys, I think Claude and Charles.
Yeah.
And the first year we had, everybody had a 4-H calf, and we fed them out, had regular monthly meetings. But when it came time to sell the calves, there was no place to sell them but in the sales ring. So there was not very much profit in it.
What were some of your experiences in 4-H?
Well, I was born in 48, so I started 4-H in 58 when I was 10. My memories of that year, my steer died about 3 weeks before the fair. And a couple of years later, I did a lot better. I had the 5th place steer out of 32 Hereford steers. Another deal, Butchie and I decided, sister Butchie Kutzfeld and I decided to take lambs to the fair, so we went out the night before in the hills, roped us a couple good-looking lambs and took them to the fair, and they did really well. So, well, if we tried that now, it would be against all the rules. But
basically, your projects were either agriculture or home ec.
Yeah.
There were not the many that they have now. It was a rural organization, and the idea of it was that parents would learn along with their kids. I did clothing and foods, and everybody else in my family did steers. And when it was fair time, you would load up the pickup with 2 4-H steers in the back, all of the cooking and all of the sewing, and the kids in the front of the pickup, and head for the fair.
Yeah. Did you overall enjoy 4-H?
It was just such a natural part of life. I don't think about it being enjoyable, especially at the time. It was just part of our world. But now looking back on it, it was a very cool time of my life. Family's really bad.